And we're back. Um, Welcome to another episode of Survivor Hot Takes. As you can see, I am filming from inside of a hotel room. I am on vacation this weekend, and this is the best time to record. But I'll be back to my regular place on next week. Um, for everyone that watched our trivia contest that we had a couple days ago, it went very well. Um, I shit the bed, which is all too common for me recently. I think COVID really uh, messed up my trivia abilities, which is one of the only things I'm really good at in life. So that was frustrating, but it was still a fun time. I enjoyed most of the questions, all of the questions. Um, I'm looking forward to next year to do it again. As you can see, I don't have a witty nickname this week because I couldn't figure out if denier was an actual word, and I didn't really want to look it up and see if it was. So I'm just going by Coach Drew today. And we're here to talk about, I know we had the thing a couple weeks ago where I called a lot of online outlets that talk about cyber cesspool. And this is a topic that gets brought up a lot on said cesspool. That Survivor is rigged and that they pick and choose who they want the winners to be and all this fun stuff. And I'm here to say no. No, it's not. And I could just stop there, but people always want to point to season 35 with Ben winning. Like, oh, they put all those idols there so that Ben would find them and that he would win because he's in the military. So was so have a lot of other people that have played the game. I was thinking of Ken from Thailand. I know, but he was a cop, but that was like right after 9/11. So if he had won, maybe they would have had some type of other excuse why the game is rigged. Point is, people will say, "Oh yeah, Ben, he kept finding all these idols, which means that it has been rigged because he was former military and they really want a military and work person to win." Okay, this is why you're wrong. Suri, they brought back a lot. Uh, Tyson, they brought back a lot, but Tyson won. Ozzy, they've brought back a lot. Um, Culpepper, they brought back once, but they tried to bring him back twice at least. There's a few other people out there, but let's focus on Suri and Ozzy for right now. Two of the most beloved players to ever play the game. We'll even throw Aubrey people that they continue to bring back because yes, I do think that they want these people to win, and they, whether it's because they have no social game or in Suri's case, she just gets screwed because Survivor hates Suri. Um, I I feel like if the game would be rigged, they would rig it for these people, like their actual favorites. I don't feel like they would rig it for, no offense, some guy named Ben who's never played before. I feel like if he hadn't won and they had brought him back a few times, yeah, they're probably trying to set it up so he has a better chance of winning. But I don't think that out of everyone that's ever played Survivor, that they just decided one day, Ben's our guy. He's the one that we're going to make sure wins because we couldn't help Suri, we couldn't help Ozzy, we could help all these other people, but Ben, he's our guy. We're fixing it for him, and we won't hear anything else about it. And it's just weird because it also just doesn't seem like he's looked at very highly in the actual Survivor community, like for the people that have played, and maybe even people within production and the hosts and all of that. I never got the vibe that Ben was one of Jeff Probst's favorite people or anything like that. And you usually can tell who Probst's favorite people are. So the that defense or that argument that people make that season 35 was rigged so that Ben would win, it's like, okay, you could have come up with anything else first, and I may have listened to you. But you're going with some guy named Ben winning season 35 is your reason. Uh, I know we've touched on this before here as well with Redemption Island. Both Redemption Island season, the first two Redemption Island seasons, Redemption Island South Pacific, how they tried to rig it so that Boston Rob and either Coach or Ozzy won the second one. And once again, I understand where you're coming from, but also I don't think they had to rig it much, especially in the Redemption Island season. They didn't have to rig it much. You just put Boston Rob, who's played a lot of times, on an island with a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, and then sprinkle in two people that do know what they're doing, so he can vote the game, which is what happened. But I feel like if Redemption Island was rigged and they built the season around Russell versus Rob, I feel like they would have done things besides having a Redemption Island twist where people get more screen time. Where Russell and Rob at least make the merge together so they can continue that rivalry that started in Heroes versus Villains, but also got cut off right before the merge. And then, yeah, Rob just ran through everybody else after that. But I don't think that was because of anything production was doing. It was just that, yeah, they put someone that's played the game 1,000 times on an island with people that had with the group of jabroni. And camera went out there. We want either Ozzy or Coach to win, so we'll put them on a season with a lot of people that don't know what they're doing. The only problem is there were more people on this season that knew what they were doing, and Coach still found a way to get to the end, and Ozzy was one immunity challenge away from getting to the end. And yeah, the problem is Coach didn't know how to talk in front of that jury, and Sophie did. And I know there's stories about other things that happened during that final, but we don't talk about that here. But if they really, Coach is another one of the favorites that if they were really trying to rig it, why would they not rig it so that the Coach actually won? If these conspiracies are to be believed, that they fixed season 35 for Ben. I'm just going to stay on that because it's the craziest thing to me every time I hear it that, out of all of these people, they picked Ben to win the game. The ominous they. So yeah, I feel like they would have chosen Coach to win South Pacific if said game was rigged. And then you go through all of these other, you guys have been on the cesspool. You guys know the types of things that people think are rigged on the show. Spend enough time on there, you'll get down. You'll go down some dark holes. And it's frustrating to read because it's almost similar to how people think that the NBA, or the NFL, or Major League Baseball are rigged because the refs had a call here or there that's like, oh, well, they just really want the Steelers to lose. I'm in Pittsburgh, so and Steeler fans are just, they're not good people. No offense. But one bad call, and all of a sudden there's this grand conspiracy that they don't want the Steelers, who have won the most Super Bowls of all time, tied, but they don't want them to win anymore because of some weird bias. And it's funny because I know a person from almost every other fan base, and they all think that the NFL is rigged against them too. It's crazy how that works. People don't sometimes people can't grasp the fact that bad things just happen sometimes and good things just happen sometimes. There's not always some grand conspiracy to have your team lose or to have Ben win season 35. There are things that happen, within the realms of whatever game we're talking about, but specifically Survivor right here, that lead a person to, getting to the end of the game because they added the fire making challenge because they really wanted him to win. Once again, I feel like there were at least two people in the season that had a overall better story. Uh, Talking about Devin and Chrissy, I don't think that all of a sudden they're like, well, no, Ben's got the best story out of all four of these finalists. Let's make it so that he has another chance to stay. It's like they probably had that planned from the beginning of the season on, and they have continued doing it. I don't think they were thinking if Ben gets voted out, we have to add this twist, no matter where it happens in the game, because we need him in the game, because we need him to win. And it's just insane the amount of traction that this conspiracy has gained, the legs that it has, because I know I keep making that face because it's just so insane to think about and read about that these people are really believing that they chose Ben. And this is not a knock on Ben, whatever. It's not a knock on Ben. It's more of they chose Ben to win over Cirie, Coach, Ozzy, all these other people. It's insane. And I try not to pay that much attention to this specific conspiracy about the show being rigged, only because I like being happy most of the time. It's fun, but it just always pops up. It always just comes up. You're going these Facebook groups and all this other stuff, and it's like, oh well, if production had a different favorite on HHH, somebody else would have won. Yeah. Production loves Cirie, and you saw how that turned out for her in Game Changers. And I guarantee when she comes back, if she comes back, she's coming back, she'll find some other type of way to get screwed in the end. But I don't like the point of me saying that is if Cirie doesn't get help to win, they're definitely not helping some J bro named Ben who won $1 million to win. Having said that, I am not, obviously I'm not the biggest Ben fan. I think I was kind of annoying that they had that twist at the end, but I stopped there. Like I stopped there. It's like, okay, yeah, they added this twist. This is dumb. He's probably gonna win now. I don't like it. And that's where it's just like when my favorite football team. I'm a Packer fan. Whenever they lose, it's like, oh, well, they lost. It wasn't because the NFL hated them. It wasn't because the referees had it out for them. It was just because, oh, they suck today, so they lost. Reverse that. Yeah, it sucks that they added this twist. Oh, Ben won. That sucks. Well, what's next season? Ghost Island. Uh, you see these comparisons, right? I hope I'm not like spouting nonsense. These comparisons are there, they're very believable. Um, Other than that, after my little 15-minute rant, uh, next time you watch a season of Survivor, or next time you watch any type of sporting event, turn your brain on and start thinking logically that sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. Your person's not always going to win. Sometimes there's going to be twists that you don't enjoy. It doesn't mean that production has picked their chosen one, especially when their chosen one is some guy named Ben. Uh, we will be back next Sunday. Like I said, probably from my place. I don't think I'll be in a hotel next week. And until then, stay tuned.